Hi there, my name is Max. I'm the statewide access coordinator with the Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources here at Amelia Wildlife Management Area. Here you'll find 2,200 acres of hunting, fishing, wildlife viewing, boating, a shooting range, and plenty of other year-round opportunities for outdoor recreation. Upland hardwood and pine stands comprise the gently rolling forest lands in Amelia WMA, with around 200 acres of bottomland hardwoods and beaver swamps along the Appomattox River. Once farmland, the area is now actively managed with prescribed burning, thinning, and planting of native species to enhance wildlife habitat. The 100-acre Amelia Lake and 4.5-acre Saunders Pond offer anglers the chance to catch largemouth bass, crappie, catfish, bluegill, and sunfish. Fish attractors have been positioned near the handicapped accessible fishing pier to enhance the fishing experience. There are numerous parking lots for easy access, and a concrete boat ramp is available for launching small boats. While here, visitors can enjoy hunting, fishing, paddling, wildlife viewing, hiking, and primitive camping. Speaking of camping, we thought it would be fun to investigate the rumors that Amelia WMA is haunted. Now Megan from our media team is going to come out and camp overnight and spend some time in these deep, dark woods to see what might be lurking.
Pause, ding, cut the camera. Look, I know that everybody at HQ had this fun idea of sending me out in the woods, but do you think that I have night vision, recording equipment, all that mess? And full disclosure, I still sleep with a nightlight, okay? And I may have been a Girl Scout, but trust me, I was in it for the cookies. So I'm not doing it. So unless you want to stay out here and see what's lurking in these woods, you are more than welcome to, but I'm not doing it.
But that's the plan. We were going to make a Halloween themed video, and this was the plan for the Halloween themed video. What are we going to do instead?
So I always have a plan, but I have already reached out to 2 paranormal investigation teams, and they're all about doing it. So go ahead and spin that angle and say that they're going to do it, okay? And that's what we'll go with. But I'm not doing it. So do you want to stay out here?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I don't, it sounds like you have a great plan though. I think the paranormal teams, I think that sounds like a really good plan. Yeah, no, you got it for sure. Let's go with that. Let's go with that instead. Virginia Paranormal Investigations and Transcend Paranormal have offered to investigate these claims. These groups travel all over the state exploring haunted spaces, and with special permission, they'll camp overnight on separate weekends, recording footage and report back with their findings.
My name is Steve Dills. I'm the director of Transcend Paranormal. We're a paranormal team that operates here in Central Virginia. We like to partner science with metaphysical and history for a full context of the location that we're investigating to try to understand what's going on and why. Going out to this property, we really had no idea what we were going to encounter, what we were going to find, and we were really excited about that.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Linda.
And we're with Virginia Paranormal Investigations. And VAPI we started back in 2008. Primarily at this point we focus on residential investigations, things that are going on in people's houses, and try to go out and offer them solutions and answers. We jumped at the opportunity to go out there and spend the night.
So we have this method that we call the sand nav method, and basically it allows us to do comprehensive research on a location by taking certain maps, topographical maps, historical maps, and overlaying them one on top of the other, so that we can see not only how the land has changed over a period of time, but we can also see perhaps where there used to be structures that stood on the property. Kind of a more in-depth look into the land, into the structures, into what the land may have experienced over the course of history.
I guess the 2 prominent locations for us on our investigation were the old historic home that's on the property, as well as the graveyard of Sally Steger. It's important to note that we did not enter the structure. We simply looked inside and placed a recorder on the ledge to capture any sounds around in the environment. Please note it's crucial to follow all rules when visiting any wildlife management area. When we got out to the house, immediately we heard the sound of keys.
We decided, because it's storming and raining, we'd come towards these houses because we know there are these big trees here. And we were standing right outside the house, one of the old houses here, and started hearing the sound of a keychain of like keys, like somebody jiggling their keys. And then we started hearing footsteps above, like on the floor above.
It legitimately sounded like there was somebody in this building. So we start packing up and we say, all right, it's time for us to leave. We're gonna go ahead and move now. And as soon as we did that, we heard a whistle come from within the house. And so that to us was kind of like, all right, it's done. It's time to start moving and go to our next spot to investigate.
One of the things that we normally do when we are investigating a place is we delve into the research behind the area. Looking at the map that we had developed, we found a couple of places, one that was more in the south of the WMA that had a little square indicated on it. So we weren't real sure whether this was going to be a house or whether it was some other sort of building, maybe an outbuilding, and we decided that it might be a good place to investigate.
The area that we're standing at right now was labeled quarters. So we couldn't find really a whole lot of information as to what that meant, whether it meant it was Confederate quarters, where their headquarters were, where they were coming through here. So there's no evidence of a building being here. There wasn't really an evidence of a building being there on the map. But we decided this would be a good place to come out, to kind of run some spirit box sessions and such and investigate and see if we can find any evidence or any answers as to what used to be here or who used to be here.
I know there was a big...
One of our investigators, she was facing this long dark road that went down behind us, and all of a sudden she reacted very startled, and she said that she saw a dark figure walking down the road, like she could just see the legs of it coming by.
When I was here last
for sure thought it was like two legs.
there were
right
there were
there?
dark spots
Yep,
and
I saw it
figures
too.
moving.
I swear to God, I just saw that.
Now at the same time, one of our other investigators, Matt, he had been looking at that area in that direction through a thermal imager, and he said at the same time that she saw this dark figure, that area had a significant cold spot. So that was interesting. Like, this is stuff that you don't always see firsthand.
All throughout that storm, it just felt very uneasy. We felt like we were somewhere that we shouldn't be, like we weren't welcome. We had this idea of, you know what, we know that Sally was here during the Civil War. She wrote this poem that was very touching and very sincere and genuine. And we thought, you know what better way to honor her than to read this poem? So we pack up, we move to her grave. You know, the rain has finally subsided, and we were able to get out to her grave site. We wanted to approach that very respectfully because, you know, this is somebody's final resting place. And so we read the poem, and as soon as we read it, it just felt like the emotional temperature of that location of the investigation just dropped. We went from being on edge for a good chunk of time to very calm and relaxed, collected, and it felt different. It felt like there was a huge shift, a huge change in energy. Very interesting.
The other location that we ended up going to was, it took a bit of a trek. We ended up going down these roads that were not necessarily cut down, like not short grass. We weren't sure exactly where we were going, if we were going in the right direction. It was a strange feeling once we got out there. We almost had this feeling of being watched the entire time. We set our REM pod down, and this is kind of a proximity meter. Something goes close to it, it lights up. When we set this down in the field, took a few steps back away from it and started asking questions, it started lighting up.
There it goes.
And we were, of course, taking audio through EVP's digital voice recorder at the same time. And when we took that evidence back and started analyzing it with the headphones through the computer, we found that there were responses coming through. And one of them sounded like it said a woman's name, which kind of made my ears perk up because it said the last name Tab, we believe. And Tab was a big name in that area. There was a home that was nearby there where the Tabs lived. So we thought that was interesting. It's always an interesting time trying to figure out who these spirits are, why they're there, and if there's something we can do to help them.
So it was great working with you guys on this. I know that the experiences you guys had aren't necessarily the same that we had.
Yes, very different.
And I think that that's a really unique opportunity that most teams don't have the chance to do that.
I'm sure for you, the most exciting place was the house.
Oh yeah. It was weird because like we didn't really expect anything much over there. I mean, it's
Yes.
this overgrown house, and lo and behold, we're hearing all this sort of stuff to the point that
Yes.
we thought that there was somebody in there.
And for us, I think the most significant place we went to was just this random field that I chose.
You know, there's all these legends and lore around the property.
Right.
But being able to go in and actually like dissect them and in some cases dispel them.
It just felt like history. It
Yep.
just like, it was almost like this sense that you could just feel the history that was emanating from the land itself. Definitely a place I'd like to go out to again.
Oh yeah, I'd love to get back out there and investigate it. I know we've talked about it. I know you guys have talked about it.
Yes. Yeah, definitely a place I'd like to go back to.
So Megan, do you actually think this WMA is haunted for real?
Look, Dean, my job ends at legal shooting hours, so I'm not sticking around to nighttime, okay?
I know. Hey, shh, did you hear that?
Dean, I'm leaving.
Something's over here.
Go investigate.
I'm gonna check this out.
Oh! I can't believe this, Max. This is ridiculous. I'm not
Happy
doing
Halloween!
this. Nope.
We'd be glad to have you for a visit to the 250,000 acres of wildlife management area we steward throughout the Commonwealth. As always, be prepared and informed before you stop by. We have plenty of information to make sure you have an excellent and safe visit to a WMA. And remember, explore the wild.
Hey, Max.
Yeah.
I got a question, buddy. Do you always travel around with a wild turkey mask?
Yes. Yeah. You don't travel with a turkey mask all the time?
No, I do actually, man. I got the same exact one.
Perfect.
Check this out.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
All right, y'all can go. I'm out.